Hello fellow leggers, thank you for joining us once again on a very wet Saturday matinee
Doing wonders for my perm.
we are visiting the Duke of York's Theatre.
That's right, and we are seeing the West End transfer of a third part in a trilogy, and that is The Sun.
So as usual, stick around to hear all of our thoughts.
Find out how many stars.
Whether it's break a leg
Or leg it.
What better place to be on a wet London afternoon, really, than in a theatre? Because we never go to the theatre.
I know, right? We only do it on wet weather days, but luckily enough, it rains quite a lot in Britain.
Even when it's sunny, we're still in a theatre.
Vitamin D deficiency, like seriously.
We're seeing the third part, did you say?
Yeah, in a trilogy of plays written by Florian Zeller, which also includes the father and the mother. So to paraphrase from the Book of Mormon, the family plays by Florian Zeller are a trilogy, and The Sun is Return of the Jedi. I'm in.
There we go.
There we go. Now, as with other Florian Zeller plays, many of them translated by Christopher Hampton.
Many? I think all of them. I think he is the premier play translator.
For
here
any
in the
language
UK.
Or just French?
Probably just French. I'm thinking it's just French stuff. But he is the go-to. We've said this before.
Yeah.
Christopher Hampton, he is the guy to go to.
He is. But maybe he speaks other languages. We might be giving him a lack of credit there. Let us know down below if he's ever translated
Chris,
a plan.
what else you
Yeah,
speak?
what is it? A play from Japanese? What are you doing next? Who
Anyway,
knows? Small cast in this one, just 4 of them, including John Light, who we saw here in Mary Stuart, same venue. Laurie Kynaston plays the titular son Nicolas, and star of such stage productions as God of Carnage and Abigail's Party, Amanda Abbington plays Anne. Now, Amanda is possibly best known for the role of Mary, wife of John Watson, in the BBC adaptation of Sherlock, starring Benedict Cumberbatch.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Michael Longhurst is directing this play. Michael's got masses of credits, including Caroline or Change, which was here, we caught it at the Playhouse, Amadeus at the National, which was spectacular.
That's good.
And also Gloria, which we really liked, over at the Hampstead Theatre. He's just been promoted as to artistic director at the Donmar.
What a commission.
Yeah,
good for him.
What a great place.
And this is a transfer, right? It started off at the Kiln Theatre.
It was at the Kiln, which is a tiny little venue, which we only visited for the first time.
Blues in the Night.
Yeah, it was a lovely little space, but they churn out such great quality it's landed here in the West End, and it's just 1 hour 45 minutes straight through. So we'll be having a wee before we head in.
Yes, so no interval breakdown, but do stick around to the end to hear all of our thoughts.
Find out how many stars and just, be there.
Be there. Oh, fellow leggers, we've come to the end. It's still pretty miserable here in London, raining, but we've come to the end of 1 hour and 45 minutes of The Sun.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
A real waste, actually, a wasted opportunity. When I go to the theatre, if we're going to deal with sort of subjects where it's tried and tried again, things like, I'm glad that we're addressing mental health problems, but there was nothing original about this for me within the writing. I found it entirely predictable and a real opportunity. And also, what is with this modern trend of having completely overblown directorial decisions to the point where I know we're watching a play, guys, but moments of intimacy and subtlety are completely lost if all you're doing is standing on the opposite side of the room and shouting at each other, even in the sort of I love you tender moments. I just thought, my God, guys, rein it in. And there are a couple of culprits for that. Some of the actors I've really enjoyed in previous roles were just completely off the mark for the vast majority of this for me.
Okay, I had completely the opposite experience, it sounds like, for me. I think the tone of the piece, what it's dealing with, is very much a mental health piece. You can kind of see where it's going because it's set up as such, and mental health is such a difficult, complex topic that can really affect and decay a lot of areas, and it's about those relationships, and you want things to get better, but ultimately you're dealing with something that's very complex. And I thought the performances were great. I thought the direction was great and inspired, similar to some other stuff I've seen, bits of Ivo Van Hove here and there, I guess, have a nice blank set, having people in who aren't necessarily in those scenes. I thought it was directed perfectly,
Yeah.
but you're saying not.
No, I think it's interesting what you've picked up on there is that mental health challenges are complex. And if I knew nothing about mental health struggle, I would have put everything in this that was in it. It felt really cliched. It's like, well, of course they'd act like this, and then we'd be in this situation. You know, I think the strongest and most powerful mental health stories are the ways where you don't realise how it's affecting somebody. It was like everything was laid on a plate with this. I wasn't inside the heads of these people. I was being told this is what mental health looks like, and it was all of those things which are just completely cliche.
I disagree. I thought it was great. Again, I thought there's lovely moments, sequences of the young lad kind of destroying everything quite early on, almost symbolising what was going on in his head. Again,
In
other
a really
people,
obvious way, though.
Oh,
Like, of course he would
obvious
act
way?
like that. I mean, how else am I going to show frustration? I know what. I'll throw a bookcase across or I'll throw a vase against the wall. It's just so cliche.
Cliche to you,
Yeah.
I say this is really nice telling through drama and theatrical piece. I enjoyed what they were doing. So it worked really well for me. It's a shame it was cliche for you, but
Just
hey,
completely missed the
that's
mark.
you.
I mean, sadly, I've been very much affected quite directly recently by somebody suffering with mental health issues and taking their own life. And I just thought this is not opening up a conversation about mental health issues. This is one of those, oh, well, we should have done this and we should have done that moments. I don't know whether it just added anything to my understanding of, you know, I think theatre should come at things in a different way and actually make us think about things we've not thought about before. The only thing I'm going to think about this is the simplistic approach to the subject matter.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Again, I think in the writing, it's great looking at the real complexities. Someone who is young, who you kind of identify that something isn't quite right, but how do you know that? How much do you know that this isn't just teenage angst, someone struggling with life, someone struggling with school, someone struggling with a breakdown of a relationship from their parents, and then when you know too late, how the guilt of that, trying to do your best but also worried about relationships going forward. There's so many questions in here that I think this deals with that will resonate with people who have been in those similar situations. So I know this stuff as well. I've lived through with people in my family and friends who have also had mental health issues, and I thought, you know what, that's really resonating with me. I see what has been picked up here in the writing. I see what they're going through and those decisions you have to make as a parent, trying to make your children's life better than your parents' life, but ultimately the situation's different, and you try and do your best, but you mess it up. And you have to make decisions sometimes, and you've got to live by those decisions.
Sometimes you get it
and
wrong.
It forces that as well. So I thought there was some really nice stuff in there. Pace-wise, there was a few moments where dynamically it
I closed
picked up,
my
it
eyes
went up
2
and
or
down,
3 times.
but there
there
were
were
also
some saggy bits.
saggy moments. I
Yeah.
will say that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are also some moments that kind of went somewhere else. So it's like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Well, that's quite fun. That's a bit of a change in a tempo. That's showing a different side of that character that I didn't see before. So personally, I liked it.
Great.
Just saying.
Let's move on to
and
some
the
of the-
direction. Who was the director?
Michael Longhurst.
Michael Longhurst. I thought did a great job.
Nothing for me.
Okay.
Let's move on to some of the performances now. And I mean, let's talk about the elephant in the room for me. John Light, who I've really enjoyed in other roles. I really loved him in Mary Stuart. He was so memorable in Karma Disruption at the Almeida. I thought was completely wrong in 3/4 of this for me. Some of the decisions that he was making just felt so hyper emotional and so completely over the top and always at really high end. What are we doing here?
I'm just twisting the umbrella because
Oh.
I've got this little flicky bit that's
Oh, is
dangling
it
in my
bothering
head.
you?
Keep
Sorry.
going.
But no, I just thought that he just needed to rein it in. I think if I was the director of this and I went and looked at him, I'd be like, John, like, don't sell him the whole farm right away. You can have those moments of intimacy and you can have those moments of intensity, but it always one tone for me, for far too much of this piece for an actor of his calibre. So maybe I should lay the responsibility at the director's door for that, but I felt it was wrong in a lot of his acting choices.
I thought he was absolutely brilliant. John Light, for me, it's his piece from start to finish. It's called The Sun, but I guess he is also a son, because he's obviously, I don't know the other two pieces, we haven't seen them, so I'm
No.
not sure what the relationship is between them, but it's as much not about his son, also him being a son, and I thought he was brilliant. I wouldn't change one thing personally.
I'd recast.
I wouldn't.
Laurie
No, I would. I personally, I would nominate him.
Do you
if
want to
it was me.
nominate him?
Yes, I will.
Go for it.
Best leading role. There we go. In a piece for John Light.
In the role of Pierre for The Sun.
Yes.
Great.
I thought he was great.
Wow.
I mean,
well,
I'd like to know your
completely
thoughts.
different, yeah,
But-
to me. Let's talk about Laurie Canaston as Nicolas, as the son himself. It was fine.
I thought he was great again, playing that tortured soul. He did really well. I enjoyed what he did from start to finish.
Amanda Abington in the role of Anne. Now, Amanda is probably the most famous person mainstream in this
Most
piece.
recognisable,
Most
I think,
recognisable.
yeah.
It's not the greatest of parts, to be honest. It's
No.
a little bit. She's underused. She's certainly a name to draw people in, but if you're expecting it to be the Amanda Abington show, it's not. And as a result, I don't think she's going to get a huge amount of accolades for this piece because there's not enough for her to do.
I think
She
not.
can't
She's
show
just-
a big enough range.
But she's just solid.
She's solid, yeah,
everything
absolutely.
She did
There was nothing
was solid.
nothing
was
wrong.
Right.
Nothing
was
wrong
exactly
with her performance.
how it should be.
Nothing wrong with her performance. Just not a lot of meat on the bones, really.
You know, you don't have to. Not every part is a Hamlet. No, you've just
Well,
got to do
and
it.
this is an
right.
example of that.
Yeah,
it's
you
certainly
can't-
not.
You can't have every single part being Hamlet, and
No.
you can't have every time doing it. Sometimes you've just got to be a cog in a
Sometimes
piece,
you've
telling a
just
story,
gotta
and
be
she was a good, solid
Good
cog.
in a role, and she was good in a role.
And she was-
Also, Amaka Okafor in the role of Sophia. Now, Leggers. Thought she was the best thing about it. Absolutely loved her. I loved her having to be. She plays the stepmother character to
Yeah.
the son, and I mean, I don't know why. Maybe it's my own reasons and personal reasons. But if I had to associate myself with somebody in most, someone that felt that they couldn't have an opinion because they were bringing up a child that wasn't their own, they also felt maybe guilty or responsible for the part that they play in, and you know, unwittingly they've not chosen to be in this situation, but they are. She played the. I thought for me, her character had the most complexity, was the least cliched, and also had the most darkened light, the most shade and
Okay.
brightness.
It's interesting that that's the part you resonate with and that you enjoyed most. And I
Mm-hmm.
think this is subtly where Florian Zeller does really well. He taps into and understands these different strands of human complexity in relationships, and I think he puts that personality and character on stage. I think he writes it well. If that's the only one you resonated with, then for me,
Yeah.
anyway.
We said at the beginning it's a cast of four. It's a main cast of four. There are actually two other people
There's
in
a
the
few
cast.
others, yeah.
With Cujo, Assar, and Martin
He's
Turner. It's sort
Perfectly
of very,
cast.
but very small parts.
small.
But yeah, absolutely fine.
But they did great,
How
in
about
my opinion.
anything about the production you want to call out?
I love the set. I love the idea of the set again,
Yeah.
tying into the directorial
Lizzie
vision.
Clackland,
Yeah, I
set
thought
and costume.
really like the sound design as well. The sort of stuff I like as well within that. So I
Yeah.
thought the sound design was really good.
Isabel
throughout.
Waller-Bridge, maybe Phoebe Waller-Bridge's sister.
Oh,
I
is
don't
it?
know.
Does she have a sister?
I mean, it's quite unusual to have a double-barrel Waller-Bridge,
oh,
right?
she's done really good stuff here.
Oh,
So I'm getting tripped on.
Television includes Fleabag, so yeah. Is there a real sister in that
It
show?
must be.
You know,
There is a real life sister. Is
Is
this
it
the
her?
sister? I don't know. Is it
You've
based on a?
You've watched
I have,
it.
but I don't know if it's based on real life relationships. I think it's
But
created.
does her sister play her sister? Do you know what? Who's the actress?
Oh.
Who's the? It says television.
No, I don't
includes.
think so. No,
Okay.
no. I'm sure I saw a documentary and it's not. It's not.
Interesting.
But hey, correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah, please
Anything,
do.
anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess you're probably wondering how many legs. Hey, we are going to be giving The Sun, currently playing here at the Duke of York's. But before we do, make sure you hit subscribe.
Yeah, please let us know down below your thoughts and comments on this piece. We're also over on Instagram where we give you a bit of a backstage, behind the scenes look into our lives.
And also
So,
Twitter.
yeah, follow us on those as well if you want to know more. So for The Sun,
Currently playing here at Duke of York's.
yeah,
We are going to
give
4 stars. We're splitting hairs.
It's a very,
here.
very average show for me, and I would probably go a 3. But you loved it. You
I really
absolutely
enjoyed
adored it.
I
And
agree,
sometimes,
it lulled at times,
Yeah.
but I think the piece is written well.
sometimes we just have to compromise. That's the penalty we have to pay because there's 2 of us. When sometimes you wish there wasn't.
Absolutely.
So,
but
yeah.
hey, what did you think?
What-
How many would you give it? What did you enjoy? What
All
didn't you?
subjective, guys. We'd love to know. We're the Breaker Leggers.
And we'll catch you again soon. Bye.